Hello there. Good. So can anybody tell me if they are here? Fantastic. If you could introduce yourself. Thank you for the change of time, but things have been a bit complicated. So you could let me know that you guys are here. If you could just say who you are, just type your name, that would be fantastic. Okay, good. So I've got Fatima. Hello, Fatima. Lovely to see you. Who else? Just to check that your typing is working, if you could just type your name. Lovely. Hey, Mike. That's brilliant. Lovely to see you. Bruno, nice to see you again. Who else have we got? Fatima, Michael, Bruno. Everyone else, if you could just type your name so that I can check that your typing is working, that's fine. Or not. Claire, brilliant. I've got Claire. Claire, brilliant. I've got Claire. Lovely. Anybody else? Right, so that'll do for now. Lovely. So this is going to be the last of the series of live chats where I don't give you a topic in advance. Okay, so the topic categorically for next week, and I will pop this at the end of the video, will be the word one in French when it can mean anything. So I want one of them. Oh, the one, your one is bigger than my one. The big one. I bought one. All the different ways of using one. So that will be like the my one, so le mien, la mienne, les miens, les miennes, celui, ce, celle, etc. Le grand, j'en ai mangé, the pronoun en. So it's going to be using all of those. So the work that we will be doing in next week's class, not entirely, but a lot of it will focus on that word. And so on purpose, I'm going to do a video tomorrow, if I have time, on those topics. Okay, so what we're going to do from now on is make sure that you've seen the video before the class. All right, so that's something to do. So good. So if you, that video will go up this week, so keep an eye. And next week's class will be, hi there, Ife, I hope I'm pronouncing your name properly. So next week's class will be categorically on that. Right, today's class is on questions and you asking questions. Okay, and how are you going to ask a question? So please write, please, if you think I know how to say this, but I don't know how to spell this, that's fine. Just write phonetically. We're mainly looking at the order of stuff. We're mainly looking at, you know, what the order is that's going to come to your mind. Okay. So there are going to be a couple of ways. So if you see somebody's answer before you and it doesn't resemble what you think you were going to say, it doesn't mean yours is wrong. All right. It doesn't mean yours is wrong. If you see somebody's answer and then you change your answer to try and be like theirs, please don't, because I want to see what you would say, either to tell you that it's correct or B, to tell you what your errors are and why you're making them, because otherwise you're not going to learn anything. Okay. Hi, I'm Arnab. Nice to see you. So, right then, so first things first. So the first question I'd like to ask is going to do an interview. Okay, so can you ask somebody what their name is? Can you ask somebody what their name is? Okay, and can I ask you to write it formally? Yeah, can I ask you to formally ask somebody what their name is? Hey, Mariam. So can you ask somebody what is your name? That is the first question I want you to type, to ask somebody for me. Okay, just give you one more minute. Good. And if you don't feel confident that you're going to write something, if you could just type no, so I know not to wait for you. That's absolutely fine. You can watch the lesson without typing, but just so I know not to wait for you. If you don't feel confident to write something, you just want to watch, can you just type no every time, so I know not to wait for you to give me your comment, because I've obviously not had everybody's comment. Right. So what are we looking at with question? Lovely, Mariam, I want formally. Okay. Lovely. So what I'm looking at with questions, which is really the key to answering questions, to asking questions in French, is that there are really multiple methods. And it depends where you're starting, whether you're starting with your question word, in this case, comment, or whether you're popping your question word at the end. So for example, if I took a typical question, what I use is there are three methods. There's basically the inversion method, and inversion is when you're going to stick the verb first before the person. So if I said, where are you? If I said, where do you live? So the inversion method would be starting with the question, où, then the verb, habites-tu, où habites-tu? The other method, starting with the question word, is to start with the question word, then come in with est-ce que, and then ask your sentence in the normal way. So, où est-ce que tu habites? Yeah. Then we've got the final question method, which is to say your sentence normally in the normal rule. So, for example, you live, or vous habitez, or whatever's going on, all right? And then your question word. So to sum this up, we've got question word inversion. So, où habites-tu? Question word est-ce que, où est-ce que tu habites? Or question word at the end, tu habites où? So most of the questions that I'm going to ask, not all of them, have got this method. So I call them either question at end, question inversion, or question est-ce que. Okay. Hi Priya. So comment is actually fantastic because it will allow for all orders. Okay. Hi Shanabi. So it will allow for all orders. So I asked you all to write, how are you? Okay. So, you know what your name is. Okay. Hi Leslie. I asked you all to say what your name is. So the point is, two things to flag up on this verb. The first thing to flag up on this verb is that the verb is appeler, okay? And that when you use it in the short form, appelle, it's going to be spelled differently, okay? Or appelle for a two form, okay? When you're ending it in something else, like with an ending, so nous appelons, vous appelez, it's going to have a single L. So well done. I don't think I saw any double L, so that's fantastic. Where do we put a hyphen? When we have an inversion, we have a hyphen. So for example, you live, tu habites. Where do you live? Où habites-tu? So if your verb is coming before your name, you're going to have a hyphen. Yeah. If it isn't, you're not going to have a hyphen. Okay. Hi, Barisha. Maybe don't ask questions, Barisha. Maybe follow the class, but it's lovely to see you. So basically, and it's tout le monde, my darling. It's tout le monde. It's one all the world masculine. Lovely. So to go back to the answer, so what's your name? You can either have vous vous appelez comment, because it's a reflexive verb. Yeah. Yeah. Comment appelez-vous is you're extracting the vous from that thing. Vous vous appelez comment? Comment est-ce que vous vous appelez? There are multiple forms. Okay. The most common for me would be vous vous appelez comment? Yeah. Vous vous appelez comment? That's what I would say for somebody. I like to end a sentence with the question word. Okay. Good. So the next thing, can you ask me, again, speaking to a vous person, can you ask me where I live? Can you say, where do you live? And I want you to use any one of the methods that suit you. Where do you live? Yeah, we've moved on, Shinobi. So where do you live? So where do you live? Lovely, lovely. So great, you've got this. So this is what I'm saying. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Now, Barisha, lovely, apart from the fact that, like I'm saying, that's all right, Yifei. So what am I saying? So when you've got the word you live, vous habitez, okay? Okay, let me have a look. Right, pause, good. So a couple of you have got it. So lovely. So when you've got the vous habitez, that's the normal word order. Person, and then the verb. We've got to be careful with vous, because sometimes vous is the reflexive pronoun, and sometimes vous is the dude doing the verb. So if you are saying où habitez-vous, you've gone verb before the person doing the verb. So that needs before the subject. So you need a hyphen. So for example, who's done that? Shinobi, lovely. Où habitez-vous? We've got a hyphen. Okay. If you've got so for example, Barisha, it's beautifully spelt, but it would you've got an accent on the U of the ou. Don't worry about that. But où habitez-vous needs a hyphen. Okay, so anytime you put the verb before the person, you've got a hyphen. Let me know if you don't understand that. Type no if you don't understand that. Hannibal, lovely. The other method, which I'm very fond of, où est-ce que vous habitez? No hyphen, because I've gone person verb. Okay, où est-ce que vous habitez from Alex? Lovely, lovely, lovely. Vous habitez où from Mariam? Again, we've got the accents on the où, but don't worry about it. Eugene, that's lovely. Où est-ce que vous habitez? Lovely, lovely. Although we need the middle hyphen, not the bottom one, but that's great. So you've understood the point, right? Then, how do you say? As stupid as it sounds, how do you say I live in Paris? I live in Paris. I live in Paris. If you could write for me now, I live in Paris. Good, we're mostly safe now. Can I just make sure that those of you that use the A, if you're using a standard keyboard, it is Alt 133 if you've not got a European keyboard, and with your number lock on, and that will give you the accent on the A. So you need to make sure that the accent is on the A, okay? Lovely, clever. I know once I live in Paris, so I live in Paris. Great. Next one, things get interesting. How long have you lived in Paris? How long have you lived in Paris? Great work from Shinobi. Oh, I can see a lot of you have been watching the videos. That's lovely. Hannibal. Hi, Mail. Right. So some good things are going on there. So let's talk. All right, let's talk. Anybody else to type? If you're typing something and you haven't quite finished it, whenever, if you know you need more time, then just basically copy and paste it and just type wait, and I will wait for you. Right. So what are we looking at? There's two real key things with this expression. Yeah. Ça fait combien de temps que vous avez habité? Ooh, almost right. So two things with this expression. Firstly, well done. Everybody's written something of merit. Everybody's written something good. And would I have understood all of you? Yes. So well done. Two things. Massively important things. First things first, we've got the expression ça fait combien de temps, which some of you have used. Okay, we can do it without that, but we can do that as well. Okay, so ça fait combien de temps? Lovely. I think Claire's got. I think you've got a bit of a lag, Claire, because your answers for previous questions only sort of come up about 4 minutes later. But as long as you're understanding, that's great. Well, that's correct. So, for example, let's make the point. What are you asking when you say ça fait? Ça fait combien de temps? That makes how much time? So ça fait combien de temps? Que, the verb in the present tense. And this is also something which is going to be shown in the other method. Okay. How long have you lived in Paris is the past. But in French, it wouldn't go in the past because we're like, well, you're still living in Paris. Okay. Yeah, you're still living in Paris. Okay. If are you asking me what country I live in? I live in London. So basically, if you are asking somebody anything that they're doing in French, if they're still doing it, it is going to be in the present tense. It doesn't matter whether you are using ça fait combien de temps que tu, verb in the present tense, or tu, verb in the present tense, depuis da 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 da. Okay, so can we go again? And can I ask you all to say, remembering the present tense? Okay, two other little things. Words you can use are depuis, or for example, how much time? Yeah. So pendant, how long, would be pendant in the past. Pendant is in the past. Pour is in the future. So can you ask me, how long have you been learning French? Imagine you were asking me. I mean, I obviously that's my entire life since birth. But what was I going to say? But if you sort of say, how long have you been learning French? Ask somebody. Yeah, ask somebody, how long have you been learning French? You can ask a tu or a vous. I don't mind. So ask somebody, how long have you been learning French? And right, a couple of things. Let's look at them. Good. So, ça fait combien de temps que vous apprenez le français? Lovely. Ça fait combien de temps que vous apprenez le français? Le français has got a cedilla. Okay, I think you probably know that, but just to make sure you know how to do it. If you've got an international keyboard, Alt plus 1, 3, 5 will give it to you. Okay. Yves, ça fait combien de temps que vous apprenez le français? Shinobi, depuis quand? Yeah, depuis requires since when. Depuis quand apprenez-vous le français? That's fine. Or if I would go with vous apprenez le français depuis quand, I'd reverse it round. Yeah, I really would, but that's fine. Depuis quand, Bruno, depuis quand tu apprends le français? Yeah, lovely. Depuis quand? Lovely. Iji, ça fait combien de temps que? I need my relative pronoun. Ça fait combien de temps que tu apprends le français? Nicely spelt though, Iji. Tell me if I'm spelling your name wrong. Hannibal, depuis combien de temps apprends-tu le français? Lovely. Quite formal, but perfect. Yeah, lovely. Notice the hyphen that Hannibal popped there. Good. Priya, ça fait combien de temps que vous? Now, let's make sure Priya, tiny error. Priya's made an error, which is a good error because it makes sure we all know it. If you've got a verb which is prendre, using the Luke method, it is not an a verb, it is a soft hard verb. We don't say prendrez, do we? Yeah, we've got, so for example, any verb which is dre anyway is going to use, we're not going to have the R. R belongs in the future. So, je vends, tu vends, il vend, nous vendons, vous vendez, ils vendent. Yeah, prendre though, je prends, tu prends, il prend, nous prenons, vous prenez, ils prennent. All right, so you're going to have, you're not going to have the D there, and you're not going to have the R there either. So, lovely Priya. So where was Priya? I've lost her. Ça fait combien de temps que vous avez? Ça fait combien de temps que vous apprendrez? That you will learn. Ça fait combien de temps que vous apprenez? Yeah, A-P-P-R-E-N-E-Z, le français. Ça fait combien de temps que vous apprenez le français? Well done, Mr. Mike. Shinobi, ça fait combien de temps? Careful again on the sa. So let's make sure C plus an E, fine. C plus an I, fine. C plus any other vowel will give you a k sound, a hard k sound, if you don't have a cedilla. If you look at garçon, if you look at the word boy, garçon, yeah, we've had to add a cedilla. Okay, if you look at this word, coup, if you look at Claire, ça fait combien de temps que tu apprends le français? Claire's made an interesting point. Hang on, let me just finish this one first. So commencer, notice it starts with a C. There's no cedilla. There's an O after it, so it's k. Okay, so C and an I will give me a soft C. The other vowels after a C need a cedilla, otherwise it will give me a hard C. All right, like the difference between the word reçu, received, yeah, and the Q, I've lived, hard C. Okay, so good. Right, so next thing. Claire's said something interesting. So when you say you speak French, tu parles français, we often omit the word le with the French. Yeah, for my mind, with other verbs, it's not as done. It's better to use the article. So tu apprends le français depuis quand? Le français. Okay, good. So can I remind you, Leslie Davis, ça fait combien de temps que vous apprenez le français again? Leslie, same error. And there's not a capital on F. Countries, adjectives of nationality or adjective nouns of languages don't have capitals like they do in English. So he is English, capital E. He is British, capital B. He's French, in French, il est français, il est britannique, il est italien, small lowercase letter. All right, good. Next question then. When did you start? Yes, pendant as opposed to pour. Pendant in the past, okay? Yeah, I take your point because, okay, it's ongoing, but it initially started. But ça fait combien de temps que would avoid the pendant, Mike? So that would be fine. Next question. Why did you start learning French? Why did you start learning French? Why did you start learning French? Translate that. And I'm really sorry, but you now have to witness me eating because I'm on a bit of a tight schedule today and I haven't had any breakfast yet, even though it is 20 minutes past 2. Yeah, I think so, Leather Apron. I think it's a bit of history for Nouvelle-Orléans, New Orleans. I think so. And also you can always travel. I think it's the history of one of the fascinating parts of your. I love New Orleans. I went there before Katrina as well. But yeah, I think absolutely. I think anybody from New Orleans should speak some French. I'm seeing some lovely variations. Shinobi, unless I tell you the ways you can choose. If I tell you specifically, otherwise you can choose. Lovely. So what I'm seeing here is a lot of people have watched a lot of the videos, which is fantastic. So let's have a look. Pourquoi tu as commencé à apprendre le français? So what are we learning from this? Commencer à. Pourquoi tu as commencé à apprendre le français? Careful, there's a double M there in commencer. Shinobi, there should be. In my opinion, pourquoi tu as commencé? Pourquoi as-tu commencé? Pourquoi tu as commencé? I like to shove in an esque wherever I can. If I'm starting with the question word, pourquoi tu as commencé? That's slang French. Pourquoi tu as commencé? Pourquoi est-ce que tu as commencé? I like to shove in an esque, if I'm honest, okay? Then we have the comment from Leather. Pourquoi tu as commencé? So, commencer à. Yeah, so some verbs just take prepositions after them. If you say I started, j'ai commencé, you're not going to say anything else. Commencer has à. Sometimes you will see some of them that continue de, and you're like, oh, but for my mind, commencer takes à. Décider takes de, for example. So, pourquoi est-ce que tu as commencé? Pourquoi tu as commencé? It's fine, but it's just a bit text French. I prefer pourquoi est-ce que tu as commencé à apprendre le français? Or pourquoi as-tu? Why have you with a hyphen? Pourquoi tu commencé à apprendre le français? So Bruno, that doesn't need to be in the present tense because Bruno, this isn't something that you're still doing. So I understand what you're doing, Bruno. You're going, oh, present tense. Yeah, because you're still learning the French. Yes, but the learning the French is still going. The decision to start, that was one moment in the past. So Bruno, you've written, tu commences à apprendre le français. Pourquoi? I'm liking the fact that you thought to put the pourquoi at the end, but that would be, tu as commencé à apprendre le français. Pourquoi? First à being the verb, second à being the preposition, okay? Pardon me with my mouth full, guys, eating and talking, but that's very French, to be fair. Hannibal, pourquoi as-tu, with a hyphen, lovely, choisi d'apprendre le français? Lovely. So, j'ai choisi de faire quelque chose, lovely. Pourquoi vous avez décidé? Lovely, Shinobi, pourquoi est-ce que vous avez décidé? I like, with the accents in place, lovely, d'apprendre le français. Yifei, Zheng, pourquoi vous avez commencé à, lovely. Leslie, pourquoi commencez-vous? So, again, Leslie, I understand why you're going with the present because of what I've just said. But if it's why are you learning French, pourquoi apprenez-vous le français? Or pourquoi est-ce que vous apprenez le français? But if it's why did you, listen to the use of the word did. Did normally means, yeah. Pourquoi commencez-vous à apprendre le français? Pourquoi est-ce que vous avez commencé à apprendre le français? Priya, Pourquoi est-ce que tu as... Lovely, Priya. Pourquoi est-ce que... Nice to see it. I like the est in there. Pourquoi est-ce que tu as commencé à apprendre le français? Good girl, Priya. Good work. Good progress. Shinobi, Mike, pourquoi est-ce que vous avez commencé à apprendre le français? Now, Mike. Now. Almost perfect. Would you all, because he's a big, strong boy and he can take it, would you all just look at Mike's? The last but one. I can see why you've got this temptation to put the cedilla there, but you don't need it because what letter comes next? An E or an I? Yeah, how do I spell cinema? Yeah, cinema. All right. Yeah, okay, good. So lovely, Claire. Pourquoi tu commences? Well remembered with the S on the C. So, but again, it's not why are you starting? It's why did you start? Pourquoi tu as commencé? Pourquoi est-ce que tu as commencé à apprendre le français? Good. I did it because it interests me. I did it because it interests me. Cashew, anyone? Help yourself. Please try and use what you would have put. Please do not be copying other people. Right, off we go. I apologize for eating and drinking, but I have a condition called eosinophilic esophagitis, which basically means I have a really small esophagus. So I have to drink to get food to go down. So, Shinobi, je l'ai fait, good. We didn't know the gender of it. We're referring to an abstract concept, so it would be masculine. So, je l'ai fait, as opposed to je l'ai fait with an E on the end. Parce que ça, correctly spelled with a cedilla on the A, m'intéresse. Now, can you look at Shinobis, which is good? We've got the accents on the E, m'intéresse. If any of you looked it up and you just did some copying to try and get the answer, I don't mind looking stuff up to try and find it, as long as you know where you're looking and as long as you remember it when you write. So, intéresse, there's an accent. Yeah, okay. Eugene, j'ai fait parce qu'il m'intéresse. Now, two things, Eugene. You gave me I did beautifully, but je. So, j'ai fait, bits before verbs, pronouns first, je l'ai fait. So, je l'ai fait, pronouns first, je l'ai fait, parce qu'il m'intéresse. Now, I'm liking the use of m'intéresse, that was nice. Il effectively can work, but the point is, que and il would become qu'il. Yeah, Q-U-E, and then I-L would become Q-U apostrophe I-L. Okay? Je l'ai fait parce que ça m'intéresse. Well done, you fait. Bruno, je l'ai fait parce qu'il m'intéresse. Yeah, abstract qualities for me, you know, I would tend to go with ça personally. Ça m'intéresse. Shinobi, je l'ai fait parce que je le trouve intéressant. Lovely, Shinobi, but again, intéressant. Yeah, the accent would still be there on any form of inter. Je l'ai fait parce que ça m'intéresse. Good. Leslie retracted. Je l'ai fait parce qu'il me semble être une bonne idée. Good. So it seems to me to be a good idea. Lovely. Okay. You know, but it's not quite what we're going with, but I love expression. But I would go with that seemed. Personally, I'd have gone with that seemed at the time a good idea. Yeah, because you've already decided. Donc, je l'ai fait parce que ça me semblait, ou il me semblait, une bonne idée, ou d'être une bonne idée. Je l'ai fait car ça m'intéresse beaucoup. Lovely, nice use of the adverb. Car, for those of you that don't know, means as rather than because. Je l'ai fait parce qu'il m'intéresse. Lovely, accent required on the first E. Je l'ai fait. Lovely, Leslie. Now, je fais This is why I say only write when we need to and speak on the sounds. So je fais, j'ai fait, great, same sounds. Je fais, present tense, F-A-I-S. Tu fais, F-A-I-S. Il fait, F-A-I-T. Past, j'ai fait, F-A-I-T. Like dit, je dis, je dis, je dis, tu dis, il dit, S-S-T, j'ai dit, go with the T. So where were we? Leslie gave me. Je l'ai fait. S needs to become a T parce qu'il m'intéresse. Accents on the E, but good. J'ai fait parce qu'il m'intéresse. Lovely Claire, but I would need I did it. Je l'ai fait. Okay. Can you give me? Hi Donzi, lovely to see you. Donzi's been a big supporter of the channel for a long time. That's okay, Leslie. That's fine, fine, fine. As long as you're learning, right? Lovely. I would have started it sooner, but I had too much to do. If you only want to do one of those sentences and not both, that's fine. I would have started it sooner, but I had too much to do. It was a dream to learn French. Your videos empowered me, Luke. However, I have jazzercise on a Thursday evening and I can't do everything. I would have started it sooner, but I had too much to do. These are good cashews. Hannibal, as much as I'm enjoying your idiomatic expressions, could you concentrate a little bit on your spelling of your auxiliary? And the verb tense of having too much to do. Some interesting stuff. Some good stuff from everybody. I haven't seen a totally right one yet. Almost. Almost. Oh, I'm really glad I've given you this one. I'm really glad. I'm going to have a swig of water and we're going to carry on. I love how Shinobi and Hannibal are like, no, I will conquer this sentence. Right. Listen even when I'm not talking about you, because everybody learns from everybody else's errors. All right. Oh, we're almost there. We're almost there. We're almost there with Alex. Right. Okay. Off we go. So, right. So pause. So can you watch everybody else's errors? Because they are going to be useful. Okay. So first things to think about. Bits before verbs means pronouns before any verbs, unless I've got an infinitive. So it doesn't matter if you're saying I do, I start it, I started it, I had started it, I will have started it, I would have started it. It doesn't matter what's going on. So the pronouns involved are going to be je and le. So je le commence, je l'ai commencé, je l'avais commencé, je l'aurais commencé. So basically the point is I would have is not your would. It's not je le commencerai. It's not the would tense, the conditional. It's would have. So there's two elements there. There's the element of the verb have in the middle. So if you just said I would have on its own, you know, I would have the beef, but there's none available. J'aurais le bœuf, sauf qu'il y en a plus, whatever. Il y en a pas de disponible. So the point is, would have is what I call the little Charleston tense, you know, boop, 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 side, one side, one side. Okay, so j'aurais. Now, there are two verbs in j'aurais, commencer. Great, but it doesn't matter. The pronoun is still going to go before both verbs. So je l'aurais commencé. And your was endings, AIS, AIS, AIT, IONS, IONS, IEZA, IENT, are the endings that you're going to stick after the R. So, je l'aurais commencé, okay, I'll write that one out for you, as many of you have eventually gotten, okay, would have been like that, okay. Now, earlier, can I give you plus tôt are two separate words, tôt with an accent on the OT, okay? Plus tôt, in one word, is instead, when you don't have the verb afterwards. So instead of speaking to Claire, I spoke to Gemma, au lieu de parler. Yeah, so that would be instead of parler. So instead plus verb, okay? I was going to speak to Gemma, but I spoke to Claire instead. J'allais parler avec Gemma, mais j'ai parlé avec Claire plus tôt. That is instead when we've not got a verb. So, so basically, yeah. So plus and tôt earlier, two separate words. All right. Next thing, I had too much to do. Now remember, what is my rule? What do I say? I always say, listen to the brr. I spoke, I went, I ate, Luke shaved. Can you see? Can you see? Look a little bit less of a tramp this week. I shaved. Let me know if you prefer shaved or not shaved. So basically, I shaved. Okay, he spoke. What do I always say? If you hear a past in one word in English, you automatically go 1, 2, 3 auxiliary tense in French, unless you've got description, repetition, the word if, or a mental kind of quality verb. So, for example, I had too much to do sounds like I had a sandwich. Yeah, it's like I had. However, one is an I had, and one is a description of your state. It's a mental situation that you're in. I had too much to do. So, j'avais, okay? Next thing. The use of too much, most of you have managed to throw somewhere, but can I remind you that too much of something, yeah, is trop de, like beaucoup de, or moins de. So fewer people, not less people, speakers of English, fewer people, because we don't say less with a plural noun. So moins de personnes, moins de whatever. So too many people, trop de personnes, or trop de choses, whatever. Trop de choses à faire. Now, the reason why it's got too much to do, people go, something. If people say, okay, yeah, but Luke, you always say stick the preposition de in. So I'm happy, je suis content de faire quelque chose. So why is it now à faire? If it's all done and dusted after that last verb, so it's easy to do. C'est facile à faire. Finish, most of the time the preposition there will be à. If you say I've got, it's easy to do it, c'est facile de le faire, you will often use the de there because you've got the rest, you've got more stuff coming on. That's just the general guide. So all in all then, je and avait will become j'avais dansé. Let's look at your answers and just basically see where the problems were. Right? So Hannibal, je l'aurais commencé. The spelling will be A-U-R-A-I-S. Commencer plus tôt, well done. Mais j'avais du pain sur la planche. You know, I had some bread on the chopping board. That's fine if you went with that one, but basically it would be j'avais because it's like a description. It's like it's you weren't. It's not j'ai eu. That would be like I had a sandwich or I had a cashew. Shinobi, j'aurais commencé. Beautiful spelling of j'aurais, but I need je l'aurais commencé, plutôt with accent. Mais j'avais, correct on j'avais, correct spelling. Notice, everybody, please look at the person that I'm correcting. J'avais trop de choses, too many things. À faire, correct, apart from that. All right? Iji, je le commencerai. So you beautifully show me the je le method, but I need I would have started. Je l'aurais commencé. By the way, Eugene, if you were spelling the would tense of commencerai, it would have an AIS. Yeah, because commencerai will, commencerai would. Can I make a point? This has been mentioned in other videos. Years ago, you used to hear a bit of a difference in the pronunciation between will and would, like the stress. Je mangerai, je mangerai. You used to hear different sorts of stresses. As far as you guys are concerned now, just don't worry about it. Just say it the same way. but the spelling of the word would be AIS. Okay. Je le mangerai plus tôt. Je l'aurais mangé plus tôt. Eugene, mais j'avais beaucoup à faire. That's fine. We don't necessarily need trop de choses, but beaucoup à faire. Lovely. J'aurais le commencé. Now, Yifei, what have I told you? The pronoun bit, the little bit, comes before all verbs, unless they two form. I'm going to start it. Je vais le commencer. Unless you've got an infinitive, je l'aurais commencé. That le has to go before the aurais. Yifei, I do hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly. If you don't understand why it's je l'aurais commencé, please just type don't understand, Luke, and I will keep speaking about it. But the pronoun needs to go before the auxiliary verb. Je l'ai fait, je l'avais fait, je l'aurais fait, for example. J'aurais commencé de bonne heure. De bonne heure means earlier, early, as in, yay, I was supposed to be there at 2 o'clock for Luke's session, but I got there at 5:02. That is early in that regard. Earlier, as in an earlier time, would be plus tôt. Okay? Mais j'ai beaucoup de faire. So, mais j'avais, yeah, because it was I had in the past, in a descriptive mode, beaucoup de choses à faire. Okay? Ou j'avais trop de choses à faire. Je l'aurais commencé plus tôt. Well done, Bruno. Nicely spelled. Mais j'ai eu trop de faire. So again, j'avais, I would have gone with, because it's a description of that sense in the past. Je l'aurais commencé plus tôt, pre rather than bientôt. Bientôt is soon, okay? Mais j'avais trop de faire. You've got the right j'avais, well done. So there's a lot of good stuff there. Mike Keys missed. Oh, j'aurais le commencé, Mike. I want a penitent, repentant, punitive head shave for that. J'aurais le commencé. What? Where does the pronoun le go before the verb? Okay, je l'aurais commencé plus tôt, mais j'avais trop à faire. Not bad though, the rest of it was great. Okay, j'avais trop de choses à faire ou j'avais trop à faire. Shinobi, j'aurais aimé. No, Shinobi, interesting. So, j'aurais aimé le commencer. If I was going to use a le, j'aurais aimé le commencer would need to be the ER form. I would have liked to have started it. J'aurais aimé le commencer. After the le, we'd have an infinitive. I would have liked to start. So commencer would be spelled ER. Okay. Plutôt, fine, mais j'étais débordé. Lovely. I was inundated. I was, débordé is like overflow. In French, when we say the glass, when we say the straw that broke, or the straw which broke the camel's back in English, we say la goutte d'eau qui fait déborder la vase, the drop of water which makes the vase overflow. Et je n'avais pas le temps. Quoi is an oral expression. So well done on Nabe. Quoi is an oral expression. Yeah, don't write it. Yeah, it's an oral expression. Enfin, j'avais pas le temps, quoi. Okay, it's an oral expression. You don't write it. Je l'aurais, Hannibal, A-U-R-A-I-S. Je l'aurais commencé plus tôt, mais j'ai eu du pain sur la planche. So, again, we've talked about j'avais. Alex, je l'aurais commencé plus tôt. Accent on the O, Alex, mais j'avais trop à faire. Fine, yeah, lovely, apart from the accent. Eugene, lovely, lovely, lovely. So I think we're there. So does everybody understand? Yes, Priya. So does everybody understand their correction? Does everybody understand why that is what it is? Okay. Can we go with next question to ask somebody? When did you move to Paris? When did you move to Paris? No. Why didn't you move to Paris? Why didn't you move to Paris? You're learning French, you've got really fluent. Why didn't you move to Paris? Which is a stupid thing, because my gosh, why do you need to live in Paris if you speak French? But the point is, just with the question, why didn't you move to Paris? Let me also just acknowledge that there are many people who watch these videos, including some of you here, who are learning French from me speaking to you in English, which is already another second language of yours. So that in itself, credit where credit's due. I teach French to Spanish people using Spanish, and I teach French to Italian people using Italian. And when I acknowledge that there's 2-3 foreign languages going on there for people, you know, I do credit, I get it myself as someone who speaks multiple languages, you know, but I am impressed to see some of you using English as your learning language to facilitate your French. So credit where credit's due. Priya, in the time I've known you, your French has really started to go through the roof. Really good. There was some stuff that you used to write that was just, now I can say it, just insanely incorrect, but you really have started to make a lot of progress. Well done, my darling. I'm just going to say one more thing. Why didn't you? Not why don't you, why didn't you, right? Few more. Well, I know it's because of me, Priya. I mean, I'm not an arrogant man, but I know. But thank you. Right. So, off we go. First thing. Okay. Right. So I'm going to do the same again. And I actually think I'm going to start working this way. I'm going to give you the general theory so that then when I get to your question, you'll understand why. So I don't want you to work off English to find French, even those of you that are first language English or very heavily second language English. I don't want you to do that. But what we are acknowledging is this difference between bum and bum, 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 all right? So when you hear didn't is just the negative version of a bum, bum. So didn't doesn't automatically guarantee that you are going in a negative form of the passive composer. It doesn't. Most of the time it will be, again, in the way that boom, boom, I spoke, he went, they ate, is most of the time going to go here unless, repetition, description, if or mental. But didn't is just a negative form of that. So for example, I spoke, j'ai parlé, I didn't speak, je n'ai pas parlé. I knew, je savais, mental verb, so therefore imperfect. Oh, I knew, je le savais. I didn't know, je le savais pas, or je ne le savais pas. So didn't is just the negation of bleh, which means it's possible to go into the 1, 2, 3, and it's possible to go into the 1, 2. Is that clear to begin with? So when you hear these didn'ts, really, you're ignoring the didn't and you're thinking of the verb. I didn't move, I moved. Oh, yeah, that's an action. That's 1, 2, 3. There was no repetition. There was no description. You know, if it was, I moved every week when I was a kid because my dad was on the run from the law, you know, fine, repetition, you know, je déménageais. Okay, next thing. The verb to move is a sleepy little sod because there are multiple versions of it. So, Luke, stop moving. Arrête de bouger. Bouger. It's moving. Ça bouge. Okay? Move as in to move around is se déplacer, okay, which one of you have written, okay? But to move house is déménager. Now, this is an interesting verb for the simple reason that when you move house, you are sort of setuping. A setup like a faire le ménage, you know, or ménage à trois, threesome. You know, it's to do with the house and your setup. So people say to me, oh, but I thought it'd be reflexive because I'm moving myself, you know, so fine. But you're unhousing kind of thing in a weird sort of way. That's what moving is. So the verb déménager, and this is another thing that those of you, and most people who watch this are getting pretty advanced. Make sure with these verbs, because there are some verbs that are de, and there are some verbs that are de. So I always say, make sure your voice has got the muscle memory of saying the verb correctly. The verb to move is déménager. That doesn't mean remember the accent when you write it. That means remember the fact that the bastard is pronounced déménager. Okay, good. So that is an action verb. All right. Lovely. With that in mind, now let's look at your let's look at your work. All right. Lovely. Shanobi, pourquoi tu n'as pas déménagé à Paris? Lovely. Yeah, pourquoi tu n'as pas déménagé à Paris? Yeah. Pourquoi n'as-tu pas déménagé à Paris? Accent required on the E and the E inversion there. Fine. Pourquoi pas? Why not? Capital letter on Paris. Okay. Michael Keys, pourquoi est-ce que vous n'avez pas déménagé à Paris? Fine. You say, pourquoi tu n'es pas venu à Paris? Lovely. Well, but that's why didn't you come to Paris? But nicely gone round, nicely avoided. Good. All I'd say, Yifes, be aware of the E when you write, but when you speak, don't think about the E's when you speak. Be careful not to, all right? So, e.g., you've used the verb déplacer, so you might have quickly Googled, right, what's the verb to move in French, and you'd have seen déplacer. It's se déplacer. So, vous vous êtes déplacé, tu t'es déplacé, okay? So that'd be like, why did you move offices? Pourquoi vous vous êtes déplacé? Well, you know, we had a lot of noise where we were by the Arc de Triomphe, so whatever, okay? Good. Pourquoi, careful, e.g., you know, the spelling of pourquoi, I think that was just a slip, P-O-U-Q-U-O-I. Why didn't you move to Paris? Pourquoi est-ce que vous n'avez pas déménagé à Paris? Fine. Pourquoi vous n'avez pas déménagé à Paris? Fine. Tu n'as pas déménagé à Paris. Pourquoi? Lovely. So I'm liking the use of the pourquoi at the end. Lovely. Anybody else? Now, Shinobi. Why weren't you moving to Paris at this time? Now, can we acknowledge that the spelling of déménager is a bit messed up, but the AIS is correct? Not that we want was here, we don't, but let's just acknowledge that the AIS is correct. Now let's have another little look. I'm going to bring you up a verb, and I want to teach you another rule about French spelling that I think you've probably come across. You can check it on déménager, you can check it on manger, to be honest. The sister rule of the C rule, okay, so another rule like the C rule is the G. Does anybody know what the G rule is? G, like C, can be hard or soft. Garage, yeah, is hard, okay, because it's not an E or an I again. Okay, it's not an E or an I. If I had the verb, for example, to what can I use? Yeah, gérer, I suppose, to move, to manage. Yeah, gérer, which becomes je gère, which changes direction on the E. It's one of those. Notice that it's a soft G because there's an E after it. Okay, so if you had guerre, like the war, notice it's a hard G. So G's rule, unlike C, but similar to C, is that there's a soft and a hard version, and you need to soften a G to make it soft. That means you need to pop a decent vowel after it. So people, if you write we eat, okay, have you never noticed that there's actually a sneaky E there before the ONS? Yeah, there's a sneaky E before the ONS. You're always going to have that when you require the softness, but that you haven't got a natural E after it. So, for example, I ate, j'ai mangé. I'm going to use manger rather than déménager. Okay, so j'ai mangé, fine. Could you all just write for me, I was eating, acknowledging that the ending you're going to need for I was eating, it being in the was, is an AIS. Could you write for me, please, I was eating? Off you go. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Yep. You see what we're doing? Does that make sense? Type yes. So basically, if I now came back in here and I gave you the verb lovely, lovely. If I gave you that verb, which happens to end GER, all right? Could you write for me, I was moving? Good. So could you, using déménager, could you write I was moving? Mo. No, Shinobi, have a little look. Good. Sorry, those of you who had to see my pause so desperately close. It's a good job. It's a good job live chats don't go at that high bit rate otherwise. Good. So be mindful of that. Yeah, be mindful of that. Good. Can you now write for me? After asking me lots of questions, okay, he finished the interview. After asking me lots of questions, he finished the interview. Oh, thank you, Donji. I haven't actually cut it recently. I suppose about 2 weeks ago, I just brushed it and shaved. Yifei, I'm going to come in again. I'm going to say one more thing. Bits before verbs. Pronouns before verbs. Unless, or in this case, also before an infinitive. And Yifei and Ijin. Shinobi, good. Shinobi, how many questions? Hannibal, I like your interest in other idioms of saying something. So mettre fin à quelque chose. Notice it's mettre fin, not mettre à fin. Well, for my mind, in this case, you mettre fin. But spell entretien correctly. You know, I mean, it's great that you've done that, and I'm really, really impressed. But then, you mistype entretien. So try and just stay a little bit focused. Yeah. Right. Good, but bad. So, first things. Oh, right. First things first. Après avoir plus past, or après être. Yeah, after having gone, après être allé. Great. Great, great, great. Après avoir plus past has got a verb in the middle. It's an auxiliary verb, but it's an infinitive. So it's going to become après m'avoir, après l'avoir, après t'avoir, après lui avoir parlé. What are the slogans I'm telling you not for my health? Bits before verbs, except before an infinitive. Here, you've got bloody both. You've got the auxiliary verb and it's an infinitive. So après m'avoir posé beaucoup de questions, tant de questions, I suppose, so many questions, okay? Il a terminé l'entretien. You can have l'entrevue and other things and l'interview, but if you're going to use the word interview, obviously it's going to link, okay? Après m'avoir demandé, okay? So I like après m'avoir posé beaucoup de questions. I prefer poser going with question and demander going with quelque chose. But that's just me. I just think that sounds better French, okay? So, Yifei, après m'avoir, not après avoir me. Yeah, bits before verbs. Ijin, same thing. Shinobi, après m'avoir demandé beaucoup de questions, il a terminé le. Yeah, I prefer l'entretien, please, and I'd like a link. Il a mis fin à l'entretien. Priya. Après m'avoir. Priya, I'm disgusted in you. You know that a pronoun goes before the pronoun goes before the verb, yeah, or before the infinitive. There's an infinitive there, yeah. Après tu m'as demandé. Yeah, but I prefer. It's not true because I'm not saying you asked. It's saying after he asked me. Okay, so it's not that. Donzi. Après m'avoir demandé. Michael Keys. Après m'avoir demandé. Past verb. Yeah, after having asked. Okay. Oh, you put it down there. I apologize. Après m'avoir demandé beaucoup de questions. Now, final thing. Beaucoup de, not beaucoup des. Lots of. Des means of the or some. Were you to use the partitive article? Lots of people. Beaucoup de personnes. Lots of friends. Beaucoup d'amis. Don't let your de become a day. Why? You need a lay to make a day. I'm not speaking sexually. You need a lay to make a day. There needs to be a plural the there. Now, I know that normally in French we shove in lays all over the place, but we shove in the, but after the word beaucoup, no. Lots of friends, beaucoup d'amis, lots of the friends, beaucoup des amis. Be very, very careful on that, all right? Après m'avoir posé beaucoup de questions, il a terminé l'entretien. Lovely, Shine, lovely, okay? Yes, Priya, hang your head in shame. But the rest was great. So well done, everybody. So categorically, well done. Really good work from everybody. Not one person has embarrassed themselves. We've just got stuff we need to be working on. Good, 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 good. Watch the video back. Make sure you could do it again. Could you all please just click like? So there's 19 of you there. So I want to see 19 likes right now. Also, can I ask you to watch the video that I will do tomorrow on all the different uses of one. The 7 like clicks, you ungrateful mofos. Please click like. Thank you, EG. So what I'm basically saying is please watch the video on one next that will be up this week. Yeah, okay. And we will have a question session all about the use of one. I need to go and get to a class in Bond Street. Just thinking what I'm doing then. So well done. Okay. That's my reminder to move my ass out of here. Any questions regarding the video, please do let me know. If any of you at any given point, or if you're new to this and you want to contact me, can I remind you it's logiclanguagelearning@gmail.com. If you wish to be involved in the WhatsApp group about this, okay, can I ask you to send me a WhatsApp on +44 7899 732 838. You're welcome to send me a sound file and say hello anyway. But if you send me that and say YouTube group, I will then add you to the WhatsApp YouTube group, which we will start using. Once we've got this up and running for a few weeks, I want a little bit more sound interaction because I don't just want to hear you type and translate. I want to see you speak. All right. All right, guys. Thank you very much indeed. Not at all. Take care.